Most people think aging is just about wrinkles, gray hair, or slowing down. But what if I told you that missing a single vitamin could actually age your body as much as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day? And what if the supplement most people dismiss as just a gym bro powder, creatine, was actually one of the most powerful tools for your brain, heart, and long-term health? Today, we're breaking down the shocking truth about how one deficiency can destroy your health and how one misunderstood nutrient can help you fight aging at the cellular level. Most people don't realize how much of an impact a simple vitamin deficiency can have on their health. We think of smoking, alcohol, poor diet, lack of exercise. Those are the obvious culprits when it comes to aging faster. But what if I told you that missing out on a single vitamin every day can push your body down the exact same destructive path as smoking? It sounds dramatic, but it's not an exaggeration. Your cells don't age randomly. They age based on the stress they endure and the fuel they receive. When your body lacks this critical nutrient, it's like stripping away the shield that protects your DNA, your energy systems, and your ability to repair. Suddenly, you're more vulnerable to oxidative stress, which is essentially your body rusting from the inside out, and inflammation, which quietly chips away at your heart, your brain, and your immune system. What's dangerous is that most people don't even feel this happening. Unlike smoking, which leaves you with a cough, wheezing, or shortness of breath, vitamin deficiency is silent. You don't wake up one day and say, wow, I'm deficient. Instead, it creeps up slowly. You start noticing that your energy isn't what it used to be. Your skin looks duller. Your hair feels weaker. Your recovery after exercise isn't the same. You blame stress, age, or genetics, when in reality, your body is desperately signaling that it's running on empty in one specific area. That's the trap. It's invisible until it's already doing damage. Science has shown that people missing this vitamin actually display accelerated markers of biological aging. That means their cells look older, their immune systems act older, and their risk for chronic diseases skyrockets. Heart disease, cancer, cognitive decline, these don't appear overnight. They develop over years of hidden stress inside your body. And when you're missing this nutrient, it's like pouring gasoline on that fire. The damage isn't always obvious in your 20s or 30s, but by the time you hit your 40s, 50s, and beyond, you begin to feel the full weight of what you've been neglecting. That's why researchers compare this deficiency to smoking, not because it literally fills your lungs with tar, but because the impact on your longevity is strikingly similar. Both accelerate the aging process, both weaken your body's ability to repair itself, and both steal years from your life that you should have had. Let me put this into perspective. When you smoke, you're introducing toxins that overwhelm your body's ability to detoxify and repair. When you miss out on this vitamin, you're removing one of the key tools your body uses to fight that same oxidative stress and DNA damage. One is like punching holes in your defense. The other is like refusing to give your defense team any weapons. Either way, the result is the same. You're left vulnerable. Think about your skin for a second. Wrinkles, sagging, and loss of elasticity aren't just about aging on the outside. They're reflections of what's happening inside. Without this vitamin, your skin loses its ability to produce collagen properly. You're not just looking older, you're structurally weaker. Now, zoom in even deeper to your blood vessels. Deficiency here means your arteries stiffen faster, your heart works harder, and your risk of hypertension and cardiovascular disease goes up. And if we go deeper still into your brain, you'll see how crucial this nutrient is for neurotransmitter function and memory. Missing it means brain fog, poor focus, and eventually even higher risks of neurodegenerative disease. Now, here's the kicker. This isn't some exotic vitamin only found in rare plants on a mountaintop. It's a basic nutrient you can get from everyday foods, yet most people still fall short. Modern diets, processed foods, stress, environmental toxins, all of these increase the demand your body has for this vitamin, while at the same time decreasing the chances you're actually getting enough of it. The sad reality is millions of people are walking around right now biologically aging faster than they should, simply because they're ignoring this one factor. Imagine if I told you a pill existed that could make your skin look younger, your energy higher, your brain sharper, and your risk of disease lower. Everyone would want it. People would line up around the block. But when the answer is as simple as correcting a deficiency, most shrug it off because it sounds too easy. And that's exactly why so many people continue to live in a silent state of decline when the solution is sitting right in front of them. This isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding quality to those years. It's about waking up feeling strong, clear, headed, and alive instead of tired, achy, and dependent on caffeine just to get through the day. That's the difference between supporting your body with the fuel it was designed to run on versus letting deficiency sabotage you from the inside. So when I tell you that missing this vitamin is as bad as smoking, I don't say it to scare you. I say it because the science is undeniable And because you deserve to know the truth about vitamin deficiency is that it doesn't just damage your body physically. It goes far deeper than that. See, when people hear deficiency, they think of weak bones, brittle nails, or maybe a lack of energy. But the effects extend into places most people don't connect with vitamins at all. Your memory, your mood, your immunity, your metabolism, even your ability to handle stress. Missing this single nutrient doesn't just take a toll on your physical health. It slowly robs you of the vibrancy that makes life worth living. And the scariest part is you might not even notice it until it's too late. Let's start with the brain. Your brain is an energy hungry organ, constantly firing signals, storing memories, processing emotions, and keeping you sharp. But when this vitamin is missing, the pathways that allow your neurons to communicate start breaking down. At first, it's subtle. You forget where you placed your keys. You walk into a room and can't remember why. You struggle to focus during conversations. Most people laugh it off as getting older or being stressed. But in reality, your brain is starved of what it needs to function at its best. Over time, that starvation leads to fogginess, anxiety, even depression. You might not link a low mood or lack of motivation to something as simple as a missing nutrient, but your brain chemistry is directly tied to what you give or don't give it. And then there's the immune system. Think of it as your body's army fighting off invaders day and night. Without this vitamin, that army becomes weaker, slower, less coordinated. You may notice you catch colds more often, or that when you do get sick, it drags on longer than it should. But beyond the sniffles, a suppressed immune system means your body struggles to identify and destroy dangerous cells, including the ones that can become cancerous. Imagine your body constantly playing defense, but never having the resources to win. That's what deficiency looks like inside of you. Metabolism is another silent victim. People often wonder why they feel like their metabolism slows down with age, but in many cases, it's not age, it's deficiency. This vitamin plays a critical role in how your body processes energy. Without it, your cells struggle to convert the food you eat into usable fuel. That leaves you tired, sluggish, and more likely to store fat instead of burning it. It also raises the risk of insulin resistance, prediabetes, and metabolic syndrome, all conditions that slowly break down your health from the inside. The frustrating part is that many people blame themselves, thinking they just lack willpower or discipline, when in reality their body is fighting an uphill battle without the tools it needs to function properly. Now let's talk about inflammation. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is one of the key drivers of aging, and this deficiency fuels it like pouring oil on a fire. The result, you may feel achy joints, muscle stiffness, or lingering soreness after workouts. But it's not just discomfort. This inflammation quietly damages blood vessels, making you more prone to heart attacks and strokes. It wears down cartilage and connective tissue, leading to arthritis. And in the brain, it accelerates the processes that cause neurodegenerative conditions. Again, you may not feel it immediately, but the damage is cumulative, building over years until it's unavoidable. The most dangerous thing about all of this is how silent it is. With smoking, you smell the smoke, you feel the cough, you know the damage is being done. With vitamin deficiency, there are no alarm bells. You might be functioning day to day, pushing through fatigue with caffeine, brushing off forgetfulness as stress, blaming poor sleep on your schedule. But all the while, your body is slowly unraveling under the surface. And by the time the serious consequences show up, heart disease, memory loss, diabetes, it feels like it happens suddenly when in reality it was years of quiet neglect. But here's the good news. Your body is remarkably resilient. When you give it what it's been missing, it responds. Neurons fire more efficiently. Energy production ramps up. Inflammation calms down. The immune system sharpens its response. In many cases, people are shocked at how quickly they feel the difference once they restore balance. They don't just feel not sick. They feel alive again, focused, motivated, energetic. This is why I say the damage isn't just to the body, it's to your entire experience of life. Deficiency dulls you, it limits your potential, it shrinks the richness of what you could be enjoying every day. And correcting it, that unlocks a version of you that you may not even remember, sharper, lighter, stronger, and more resilient. Because the truth is, deficiency doesn't just take years off your life, it takes life out of your years. When you really step back and think about it, the human body is nothing short of extraordinary. Every single day, trillions of cells inside you are working around the clock, repairing, regenerating, producing energy, keeping your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your brain thinking. It's like a massive orchestra, and for everything to stay in harmony, each instrument has to be tuned and every musician has to have the right sheet of music. Vitamins aren't just tiny details in that process. They are the sheet music. Without them, the orchestra plays out of tune, and the result is chaos disguised as aging. See, longevity isn't just about how long you live. It's about how well your cells can keep repairing themselves, how efficiently they can produce energy, and how effectively they can fight off the little fires that try to burn inside your body every single day. This is where vitamins become the missing link. They aren't optional add-ons. They're the foundation of how your body works. They are the sparks that ignite the reactions in your cells, the tools your body needs to patch up damage, the raw materials that keep your DNA protected in your mitochondria, the engines of your cells, running smoothly. Without them, it's like trying to run a car without oil or build a house without nails. The structure may hold for a while, but over time the strain shows. Cells get tired, repair slows down, damage piles up. And because aging is really just the accumulation of that damage, missing these nutrients accelerates the entire process. That's why some people look and feel 10 years older than they are, while others seem to defy time. It isn't luck, it's biology, and it's often tied to whether or not their cells are getting the nutrients they desperately need. Now, here's the part people often misunderstand. Getting older doesn't automatically mean your cells have to break down. The body is designed to last, and it's designed to adapt. But only if you give it the right inputs. When vitamins are present in abundance, your cells can repair DNA mutations before they become dangerous, they can neutralize free radicals before they cause damage, and they can maintain strong, flexible tissues instead of weak, brittle ones. That's the difference between healthy longevity and premature decline. Let's take your mitochondria as an example. These tiny power plants inside your cells convert the food you eat into ATP, the energy currency of life. But here's the thing, mitochondria can't do their job without certain vitamins acting as cofactors. If they're missing, your energy output drops, you feel fatigued, your muscles weaken, your brain slows down. Over time, mitochondria that are starved of nutrients produce more oxidative stress, which then damages the very DNA that governs how long your cells can keep dividing. That's a direct link between deficiency and accelerated aging. And it's happening inside millions of people every single day without them even knowing it. And then there's DNA repair. Every single day, your DNA gets damaged by toxins, stress, radiation from the sun, even the natural byproducts of your own metabolism. Normally, your body has repair systems that identify and fix this damage. But those repair systems need specific vitamins to function. Without them, small errors go unchecked, and those small errors accumulate. This isn't just about wrinkles or gray hair. This is about mutations that can lead to cancer, degenerative diseases, and a faster decline in overall vitality. The truth is, most of us live in an environment that's more demanding than ever. We're exposed to more pollutants, more stress, less sleep, processed foods that strip away nutrients instead of delivering them. That means the gap between what your cells need and what they're actually getting is wider than at any point in history. And that gap is exactly where disease and premature aging thrive. But when you bridge that gap, when you start fueling your body with what it was designed to receive, the change is undeniable. People report clearer thinking, better sleep, more stable moods, glowing skin, stronger immunity, and a sense of vitality they thought they lost forever. And it's not magic. It's simply giving your cells what they've been asking for all along. This is why the missing link between nutrients and longevity matters so much, because your lifespan isn't just written in your genetics. It's influenced every single day by the environment you create inside your body. And when you provide the nutrients your cells are craving, you don't just extend life, you enhance it. You make the years ahead not only longer, but brighter, sharper, and filled with strength instead of struggle. Because aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean resilience if you give your body the tools to thrive. For years, creatine has been boxed into one category, a supplement for bodybuilders, athletes, and people who want to lift heavier in the gym. If you mention creatine in a conversation, most people immediately picture a protein shaker, big muscles, and gym culture. But here's the truth. Creatine is not just about building muscle, it's about building health. And if you dismiss it as only a gym bro powder, you're overlooking one of the most powerful tools science has uncovered for protecting your brain, your heart, and your long-term vitality. Creatine is something your body already makes naturally. It's produced in your liver and kidneys and then stored in your muscles and brain. Its main job, to act as an energy buffer. Every single time your cells need energy, they rely on ATP, the universal energy currency of life. But ATP runs out fast. Creatine steps in as the backup generator, instantly donating phosphate to recharge ATP so your cells can keep functioning at full capacity. Without creatine, energy production slows down and your cells struggle to keep up with demand. With it, your cells perform like they're meant to, efficient, resilient, and powerful. Now, think about what that means beyond the gym. Take your brain, for example. Your brain consumes around 20% of your body's total energy, even though it only makes up a fraction of your weight. It's an energy hog. Every thought, every memory, every decision you make requires a constant flow of ATP. When energy runs low, you feel it as brain fog, poor focus, or mental fatigue. But creatine provides an extra layer of protection, ensuring your neurons have the reserves they need. Studies have shown that supplementing with creatine can improve short, term memory, cognitive performance, and even reduce mental fatigue under stress. This isn't about lifting more weight, it's about lifting the fog off your mind. The same applies to aging. As we get older, our natural creatine stores decline, just like many other nutrients. That decline translates into less energy for your muscles and your brain, which is why older adults often feel weaker, slower, and more forgetful. But research shows that supplementing with creatine can actually slow muscle loss, improve strength, and even support better balance and mobility, critical factors that determine independence and quality of life as we age. And it's not just physical strength, it's mental resilience. Creatine has been studied as a support for people with depression, neurodegenerative conditions, and even traumatic brain injuries, because the one thing all these situations have in common is massive energy demand in the brain. Another overlooked benefit is how creatine impacts your cells at a mitochondrial level. Remember, mitochondria are your energy power plants. They're also one of the biggest sources of oxidative stress when they don't function properly. By supporting ATP regeneration, creatine lightens the burden on mitochondria, making them more efficient and less likely to pump out damaging free radicals. That translates into less cellular stress, better DNA protection, and slower aging overall. And let's not forget about the heart. The heart is a muscle that never stops working, beating over 100,000 times a day. Just like the brain, it needs a constant, efficient supply of energy. When creatine stores are low, the heart struggles. In fact, some studies have shown that creatine supplementation can support heart function, especially in conditions where the heart is under stress. Imagine that a nutrient most people dismiss as a bodybuilding aid may actually help protect the very organ that keeps you alive every second of the day. Here's the fascinating part. Creatine isn't some artificial chemical created in a lab. It's naturally found in foods like red meat and fish. The challenge is that most people don't eat enough to maintain optimal levels, and as we age, our ability to produce and store creatine drops. That's why supplementation can be such a game changer. It's not about giving you something foreign, it's about restoring your body's natural balance so your cells can do what they were designed to do. Now, of course, skeptics hear the word supplement and immediately dismiss it, but the science is overwhelming. Creatine has been studied for decades with thousands of research papers, and it's one of the safest and most effective nutrients we know of. And yet millions of people who could benefit from it, older adults, people struggling with fatigue, those wanting to support brain health, never even consider it because the myth still lingers that it's only for athletes. That's the tragedy of misconceptions. A simple, safe, and powerful nutrient is sitting right in front of us, but because of stereotypes, people miss out on its benefits. And when it comes to aging, resilience, and health span, missing out on creatine is missing out on one of the most overlooked opportunities to strengthen not just your body, but your brain and your future. Because creatine isn't about building bigger muscles, it's about building a stronger, healthier, more resilient you. What's really fascinating is when you stop looking at these nutrients in isolation and start seeing how they work together. The truth is, your body doesn't function in separate parts. It functions as an interconnected system with every pathway leaning on another. That's why addressing one deficiency makes a difference, but creating synergy between key nutrients can transform the way your body ages. And this is exactly where the combination of that missing vitamin and creatine comes into play. Separately, they each provide powerful benefits. Together, they act like a double layer of armor, protecting your cells from the wear and tear of time. Think about your mitochondria again, the engines of your cells. They need the vitamin to neutralize oxidative stress and to help repair the DNA damage that accumulates daily. Without it, mitochondria begin to sputter, producing less energy and more harmful byproducts. Now add creatine to the picture. Creatine supplies the extra fuel that mitochondria rely on when the demand for energy spikes. One reduces the damage, the other ensures energy never runs short. It's like upgrading both the durability and the horsepower of your car at the same time. The result is not just better performance now, but a longer lifespan for the engine itself. This synergy also shows up in muscle and brain health. The vitamin supports collagen production, circulation, and antioxidant defense, which keeps tissues strong and youthful. Creatine, meanwhile, preserves muscle fibers, enhances recovery, and provides immediate energy to brain cells. The vitamin keeps the environment safe, while creatine ensures there's always fuel in the tank. One protects, the other powers. It's a partnership that doesn't just slow aging, it actively builds resilience. Take your immune system as another example. The vitamin strengthens your body's frontline defense, helping white blood cells respond quickly to threats and calming the inflammation that can wear you down. Creatine steps in to give those same immune cells the extra burst of energy they need when fighting infections. Imagine being in battle. The vitamin is like the shield that absorbs damage, while creatine is the weapon that lets you strike harder and faster. Without both, your defense is incomplete. Together, you're protected and ready. The connection runs deeper in the brain as well. When oxidative stress builds up, neurons become vulnerable, leading to cognitive decline over time. The vitamin reduces that oxidative stress and protects the delicate environment neurons need to thrive. Creatine ensures those neurons never run out of energy, even under heavy demand. The combination means sharper thinking, stronger memory, and greater resistance to the diseases that rob so many people of their mental clarity later in life. This isn't about short-term performance. It's about protecting the very essence of who you are for decades to come. And here's something people often miss. When you pair the right nutrients, you often need less of each to see results. They amplify each other. It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. It's 1 + 1 = 5 because the body thrives on balance and cooperation. That's how biology is designed. It's why food in its whole natural form is so powerful, because nutrients in food naturally interact and enhance each other's effects. By combining supplementation of this vitamin with creatine, you're recreating that natural synergy, but in a way that targets the specific gaps modern life has created. The evidence is there, and yet most people are still chasing shortcuts. They look for one pill, one treatment, one hack that will solve everything. But health doesn't work like that. It's about giving your body the full toolkit it needs, not just one tool at a time. And when you finally start doing that, something incredible happens. You don't just slow the clock. You start to feel a kind of vitality that most people think belongs only to the young. Imagine waking up with energy that lasts all day, with focus that stays sharp into the evening, with skin and muscles that feel alive instead of drained. Imagine not just adding years to your life, but feeling fully present, capable, and powerful in those years. That's what happens when you give your cells both the protection of the vitamin and the fuel of creatine. They aren't just surviving, they're thriving. This is why I believe so strongly in synergy, because no single nutrient, no single practice, no single change will ever match the power of combining the right things in the right way. And when it comes to aging, combining this missing vitamin with creatine may be one of the smartest and simplest ways to stack the odds in your favor. Because longevity isn't just about more time, it's about more life in the time you have. The most important part of all of this is turning the science into action. It's one thing to understand that a missing vitamin can age you as much as smoking, or that creatine is more than just a supplement for athletes. But if it doesn't translate into daily habits, the knowledge doesn't change anything. And this is where most people get stuck. They hear the information, they even get excited about it, but when it comes to living it out, they freeze. They think it's going to be complicated, expensive, or impossible to sustain. The truth is it's not. It comes down to simple, consistent choices that over time create a body that feels younger, stronger, and sharper than you thought possible. It starts with food, because food is always the foundation. You can't out-supplement a poor diet. Focus on whole foods rich in the nutrients we've been talking about, colorful fruits and vegetables that deliver antioxidants, lean proteins that supply amino acids for repair, and foods like fish, eggs, and meats that naturally carry creatine and support your body's reserves. Add in citrus fruits, leafy greens, and peppers to boost vitamin intake, and you're already laying the groundwork for longevity. These aren't exotic superfoods. They're basic, accessible options that, when eaten consistently, give your cells what they've been missing. But for most people, diet alone isn't enough anymore. Modern agriculture has stripped soils of nutrients. Food is often transported long distances, and our lifestyles demand more than what we can always get from food alone. That's where smart supplementation comes in. Taking the right dose of this critical vitamin daily is not about replacing food. It's about filling the gap that food can't always cover. The same goes for creatine. Just a few grams a day is often enough to restore the reserves your muscles and brain need to perform at their best. It's simple, it's safe, and it's one of the most evidence-based interventions we have for supporting both performance and longevity. Of course, supplements and food are just the beginning. The environment you create for your body every day determines how well those nutrients actually work. Sleep, for example, is when your body does its deepest repair. You can load up on vitamins and creatine, but if you're running on 4 hours of broken sleep, you're tying one hand behind your body's back. Aim for consistent, restorative rest. Make your bedroom dark, cool, and quiet. Give your body permission to recover, because no nutrient can replace the power of sleep. Movement is another piece of the puzzle. Exercise doesn't just keep muscles strong, it stimulates the very cellular pathways that these nutrients support. When you move your body, you increase blood flow, you improve insulin sensitivity, you strengthen your heart, and you prime your brain to work better. Even better, exercise amplifies the benefits of creatine by giving your muscles and mitochondria a reason to use that extra energy. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. Even walking, lifting light weights, or practicing yoga creates the conditions for your cells to thrive. And then there's stress. Chronic stress burns through your nutrients faster, increases inflammation, and accelerates aging. That means managing stress isn't just a mental health practice. It's a physical longevity practice. Breathing exercises, mindfulness, spending time outside, or simply disconnecting from constant digital noise gives your body space to reset. And when you combine stress management with proper nutrition and supplementation, the difference is exponential. The beauty of this lifestyle formula is that it doesn't demand perfection. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight. Small, consistent steps matter more than big, unsustainable changes. Add one nutrient-rich meal a day. Start with a 5-minute walk. Commit to going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Begin with one supplement you know your body is missing. Every step you take compounds, and within weeks, you'll notice the shift, more energy, clearer focus, better recovery, improved mood. And over the years, those small steps add up to decades of stronger, healthier living. It's easy to look at aging as something outside of your control, like a clock ticking down no matter what you do. But science keeps proving that the choices you make every single day influence how fast or slow that clock moves. You have more control than you think. It's not about trying to live forever. It's about making the years you do have the best they can possibly be. Because in the end, the formula isn't complicated. Give your body the nutrients it's missing, support it with the lifestyle it was designed for, and it will reward you with health, energy, and resilience that defies your age. Because longevity isn't about adding more years to your life. It's about adding more life to your years. When you step back and look at everything we've covered, the message becomes crystal clear. Aging isn't just something that happens to you. It's something you can influence every single day. Missing the right vitamin doesn't just leave a small gap. It accelerates the damage in ways comparable to smoking. Ignoring your nutrition doesn't just make you tired. It robs your brain, your immunity, and your ability to repair. But when you give your cells the fuel they need, when you understand the synergy of nutrients like that vitamin and creatine, and when you pair it with simple lifestyle choices, sleep, movement, stress management, you start rewriting the story of your own health. This isn't about chasing youth forever. It's about choosing resilience over decline, energy over fatigue, clarity over fog, and strength over weakness. It's about refusing to settle for a slow fade when science has shown us there's another path. The tools are simple, the steps are clear, and the results are life-changing. So my challenge to you is this: don't just hear this and move on. Act on it. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your body responds when you finally give it what it's been waiting for all along. Because aging may be inevitable, but how you age is up to you. And the greatest gift you can give yourself isn't just more years, it's better years.